So about 3 weeks ago, we took delivery. My wife and I took delivery on our very first brand new airplane at the Cirrus Delivery Center down in Knoxville. We purchased a new Cirrus SR22. I've been flying a G2, which is from '05, for about the past 4 years. And it was a fractional share, so we shared it amongst several owners, or there was actually about 6 planes in the fleet. But this year we decided to jump on a G7 and get our very own plane, which is, the experience is just what everyone shows on the internet. It was great. It was awesome. Went down there on a Monday, took delivery, and then trained for the next 3 days on a whole new platform as far as avionics, because I was used to the Avidyne system in the G2. So it was great experience. So fast forward now, and this is today, which is end of July. It's been about, I've flown almost about 30 hours this month, which has been great. The plane was a demo unit, so I couldn't pick the color, but I wasn't too keen on the red. But now that I saw it in person, it's kind of like this candy apple. It's not a flat red, and I actually really do like it. It is really nice. The camera doesn't really pick it up. It kind of blows it out a little bit, but it's nice. And the wings are also kind of this metallic-y gray or silver. So it's a really nice color scheme. Full Fiki, all the icing system, which we need in Michigan here. Everything's LED, super bright. Flown it a few times at night, and it's been great. It's got some running lights at night as well, so when you're doing pre-flight and whatnot, you're not totally in the dark. It's just a great platform. I fell in love with the SR series back, like I said, when I started flying it 4 years ago in an older G2, which was a 20-year-old plane almost. So to jump up here is like just so many incremental changes. It's been great. But definitely the star of the show is this flight deck. It is so clean. It's so intuitive. I was really worried because I really actually like the Avidyne system. Obviously the old Garmin 430s were tough to deal with at times, but I knew their corks. It was not a problem. But this system actually has been so intuitive. It's just not. It was way easier of a transition than I thought it would be. And there's just so much information now that doesn't seem like a lot, but cumulatively it just helps so much situationally and planning wise. I just don't feel like, it'd be hard to fall behind the airplane with everything that's presented to you on these screens. Just the speed of everything as well. It's been a great transition and zero buyer's remorse, which is sometimes tough when you purchase something that's this expensive. Got some snacks back there from where we keep it from. Shout out to Apogee and Pontiac. They are fantastic. And just that paint job just still looking a lot better than I thought it would, because I've seen some flat red ones I don't like it. The cargo area is kind of the same. Again, the only real difference on the plane is just that it sits a little bit taller than the older G2s, but it's overall kind of flies very, very similar. A little different sight picture, but really, really similar. So let's jump into the air. And I was on a mission I dropped my dad off up at a town called East Jordan, Michigan. It's near Traverse City or Boyne, if you're familiar with northern Michigan. And I was headed back, just doing some VFR flight following 7500. Here you can see the first Garmin touch controller, GTC1. That's kind of your heavy lifter. And then the second one's for the comm radios. The map here is super responsive. Again, just better processing power over the course of how many years since the old Avidyne system I was using. It's like getting a new computer, more or less. But the EIS information from the engine, it's all presented really, really cleanly. We're up there only at 60% power, just sipping fuel. Shows your destination elevation, which is, again, another nice little indicator there. Really, really great information. It's got air conditioning. You wouldn't think you'd need it, but when you're sitting up in the summertime and you're baking kind of in those windows, it's super nice to have on a day like today. Still obviously has the cap system, the airframe parachute, which is a nice safety net, literally. And this one has built-in oxygen as well, which is great. So if we want to catch some tailwinds, we can do that. The sight picture of the dash is lower. It's definitely a nicer view out the front, and it's just super clean. That's the only word I can really use to describe it. It's great. The checklist integration is really, really nice as well. You can get set up. I mean, I was used to kind of a do verify mentality, and this is kind of switching me over to really using them proactively, still in those flows, but having the next one up all the time. The one thing I do have to figure out though is the audio, because I'm doing a voiceover. Obviously, I gotta find a connector that goes from Limo 6 to audio jack or something. A nice kind of a cool feature that's on this one is I've got the infrared camera. So if you're landing at night, small airport, you can see deer or see through some of the weather. Really, really handy. It's under the left wing. All the different engine monitoring pages that they have here, you can pretty much put information on any panel. There's basically 4 different panels or 3 different panels you can use, and you can see everything you'd ever want to see. It's just all right there. It gives you landing distance that you're going to need based on your current weight and all that kind of stuff. You can see the TKS fluid, how much you have, how much endurance you have of that kind of stuff, and oxygen levels, all that stuff is all right there at your fingertips. And again, you can kind of arrange these windows however you want to see them. I opted for at least for the first year, to do the satellite phone. I'm not sure how much I'll use it. I've used it a couple times though. It's got texting as well, and XM radio. It's nice creature comfort for sure. And you can set it up to where when you turn it on, you can have it mute out when radio calls come in. Otherwise it gets a little bit distracting. Got a killer autopilot with that blue level button, so if shit really hits a fan, you can hit that and kind of get your bearings about you again if you're in some hard IFR. The auto switching of the fuel is really nice. When you open the door, it goes to a manual mode, and when you close the door, you'll see that blue manual go away, and it auto flips the fuel. Just again, another thing to kind of keep you ahead of the airplane. Really, really nice. And just these big 14-inch displays are just crazy. You just can't stop looking at them. It's just really, really, really nice. Little things like knowing what frequency you're on, it's always a help for sure, rather than guessing like who'd they switch me to. All those little things really add up to helping a lot. Another thing you can do is the charts. This one's going to be a little bit hard for me to get used to, and it's going to take some time, but it's nice that they're right there. I'm kind of a chart on the iPad guy still, and will be for a little bit, but we'll get used to that, and I'm sure it'll come in handy at some point. So now that I've got about 30 hours in the plane, which is quite a bit, especially in a month, that's a ton of flying for myself. I'm looking forward to making a lot of videos about all the different specifics and flying this platform, and just kind of sharing with everybody how fun it is and fun it can be. Going on some great trips, going out to Quebec next week actually, and just gonna be doing a lot of different things. So stay tuned, do the whole like, subscribe, all the things that they say, and come along for the ride. It'll be a ton of fun. See ya.